Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to another session of New York by night, New World of Darkness, Living World of Darkness, yada yada. This a version, a video for the Demon venue. Uh, we are going to set this scene in a psychiatrist consultation near Central Park. We see a man 57 years old, going to 60, almost sitting on a really comfortable chair. This man is Dr. Artemio Alegreto, and he has died 3 days or 4 days ago. And some demon who had the chance to escape from, well, you know, has found his way to the body of the good doctor. He has established a pact with one of the doctor patients on, I think, the day before this scene is taking place. But after several months, a familiar voice to Dr. Artemio rings the phone. He picks up. It's one of the bodyguards of a certain Mr. Fitzroy that has decided to come back and see his good old doctor after a few months. So Dr. Artemio is just waiting for the hour, making some small adjustment in his very busy agenda until the doorbell rings. And so the scene begins.
The doorbell initially doesn't seem to be working that loud, so after a moment or two, Artemio just hears a series of sharp raps.
On my way, he says. He leaves his little notebook. He put his jacket back in order. He stylises himself a little bit. He goes to the door. He opens it. Mr. Fitzroy, so good to see you again.
Dr. Allegretto.
Please, step in, step in. Few months since our last session.
I know. I've been busy.
Please make yourself comfortable. Dr. Allegretto will close the door. May I offer you something to drink?
No, thank you. Marcus settles himself into the seat opposite the doctor's.
No. Dr. Allegretto sits, opens his little notebook. Now, tell me, what's new in your life, Marcus?
Well, I've made a few new friends, a few new people. A lot of new importance to my grandfather. All told, I think there hasn't been much change in a way. It's still pretty much the same as it used to be. Though, I have to admit I feel a little more confident than I used to. Strange.
Why you think is that?
I just feel more in control than I used to. I used to feel pressured and like I was under everyone else's thumb. Now I feel like I am the thumb. It's nice to feel like this.
I see. Very well. There is something more you want to talk about? Something that you feel has marked you recently?
There are a few things. Not much. Let's see. I know of this is going to sound strange, Doctor,
Yes.
but of late, I've beginning the feeling more and more that there are things going on in the city I can't see. Things that slip through the net.
Hmm.
And to be honest, a lot of the things I've done over the years, they started to come back to me, and that's the thing. I won't ask for any meds or anything. I don't want to touch those things again.
Mm-hmm.
But I just thought sympathetic voice might be helpful, I suppose.
Yes, yes, I see. Since Dr. Allegretto can clearly see that Marcus is keeping something for himself, he will just try to use the first level of his lore of longing. He will try to use read emotion to catch a glimpse, tell something on Marcus. But when he starts looking upon him, upon his movements and everything, he cannot read Marcus. Something is wrong. He can actually know. He doesn't know what Marcus is feeling. So he will kind of frown a little bit. Hmm. Now, let's go back to that oppression you feel before.
Yes.
Uh, I will use some words to try to make a chain link of thought. Do you
Word
mind?
association. No,
Yes.
it worked in the past, it might work again, I guess.
Uh, in this pressure, would you describe it like being trapped in a place where you cannot feel or touch? The only thing is cold, emptiness, and you cannot react. And well, it's sort of a complete deprivation of sense.
You can see, if you just roll ordinary perception empathy at this point, not using a law, just perception empathy.
Very well.
And
Let me
I will
grab
actually say at this point, difficulty 4. He's hardly being in any way concealing.
Okay, I have a specialty on emotions because I have that I roll. So that's 7 dices for me. Difficulty 4. Yeah, I think I get it.
Yeah, you definitely get the obvious fact that both of Marcus's fists are clenched so tight his knuckles have turned white, his jaw is set, and he appears to be clenching his teeth. And it seems to be getting worse with every word you're saying.
Now let's give a name to this inexistent place, to this hypothetical place. Let's call it the pit.
You still have violent spasm in Marcus's arm.
You would say that you spend a lot of time in there feeling the oppression of something that rules over your life on a past time or now?
Marcus doesn't initially answer, he just sort of stares at Dr. Artemia. He doesn't even seem to give an indication initially as to why. He just seems to be staring at the good doctor.
The good doctor stares back.
Okay, let's see. There is one thing I'm intending to do, ladies and gentlemen. See if you can work out what it will be.
Yay!
Okay. Please roll, do not fail me now. Because that would be deeply, deeply embarrassing. Okay. What difficulty would this be? We'll say standard diff of 6. Rolling. Yes! 2 successes on the sense supernatural presence, which is the innate ability of a demon. Allowing Marcus to know that he's sitting opposite a demon who has just deliberately pressed the abyssal button. Yeah. Marcus's fists just suddenly relax. His jaw relaxes. And the extreme anger of the man he was just dissipated. And an odd smile curls across his features. Doctor.
Yes, Marcus?
I'm curious.
Mm-hmm.
Any changes yourself lately?
Well, I've been trying to abandon caffeine. That's making me a little bit grumpy, but I think I will be switching to tea.
I see. At this point, I'm actually going to roll manipulation empathy, as he attempts to persuade the good doctor to share more.
And the doctor will try to catch this fucker because...
1, 2, 3, 4 successes.
With a contested roll against... Ooh, I think you might have won, good sir, because the ones love me.
Yep.
Yeah, only 2, so...
Yep, so I still got 2 successes over you, so...
Yeah.
Doctor.
Yes.
I'm just curious. Have you yourself any experience of this abyssal place, this dark place?
Well, my wife has left me a few months ago, so yes, we could say I have been trapped for a while in a dark place. But you know what they say, when God closes a door, he opens a window.
Or perhaps he simply closes a door, closes every window, seals every little pit.
Yes, perhaps. Then you need to find the cracks on the wall.
Cracks, you say?
Yes.
Tell me, Doctor.
Yes.
Do you mind if I play a little word association?
Please, go ahead. It's always good to the mind, to the feelings, to a state of your soul, to exchange.
Yes, I think it's fairly simple. I will say a list of words, and all I want you to do is just tell me the first thing that comes to your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe then I'll be able to feel more relaxed than I do at the moment.
Very well. Well, I'm always here to help you, Marcus, so go ahead.
Okay. Namaru.
How do you know that word, Marcus?
Asharu. Anunnaki. Nibiru. Lamasu.
And when he hears Lamasu, the doctor goes like...
I thought so. You can drop the act, Lamasu.
I'm sorry, Mr. Fitzroy. What act? Are you sure that you don't want me to prescribe you some medicine?
You are talking to an Amaru of the Infernal Court of New York. Drop the act. You weren't the only one to escape the pit.
After thousands of years,
By the way, your mic is fairly mute. Fix your mic, man. Please stand by, ladies and gentlemen, as the gentleman playing Artemio Allegretto is currently suffering technical difficulties. Please play elevator music within your own heads.
For
That
goodness
is better.
sake. Ah, excellent. My mic does not like hellish powers. So, going back, Artemio was saying, after thousands of years, you people still have no sense of humor.
Not given what we've recently been through, Artemio.
So,
This city is not an easy place to live. Kane's bastards walk around freely. These creatures that call themselves werewolves wander around Central Park. There's a practical infestation, and I do use that term correctly, of supernatural beings called changelings. Weirdlings in every sense of the word. There are enlightened humans, just like there were in the old time. But there don't seem to be as many as there used to be. And of course, there are quite a few of us. Not as many as there could be, but
from all the places in the big wide world, I came here.
yes. For all we know, the cracks correspond. Maybe where the abyss is breaking happens to link here. I don't know of any demons outside of New York. I've looked, but I haven't been able to find any immediate evidence yet. Then again, I haven't looked that hard, if truth be told.
How many of us?
Let me see. There's Lily, there's Josh, there's Oscar, there's the Reverend, myself and yourself, Clark, and the Glassworker. I'm sure there is another. Oh, yes, and Mr. Vincetti, or however the hell his name is pronounced. I believe perhaps 9 of us. Maybe a maximum of 10.
So we have a very powerful hold upon this place.
Oh no, by no stretch. Kane's bastards hold most of the city. The werewolves hold the entirety of Central Park, and believe me when I say, if you get into a fight with just one of them, they will kill you in seconds. The changelings don't seem to give much of a damn, and the mages could turn us into ash in almost as quickly as the
Whoa. Back up. What was the last word?
Mages. It's another term for the enlightened humans.
They can wield fireballs?
From what I have seen and heard, they can do what we used to think they could do. They have achieved godhood. They're one step away from the godhead we sought to give them.
That's mildly disturbing.
Yes, it is. But we did seek to achieve it, so it's nice to know we actually achieved something. If I may ask,
yes.
Doctor, this is rather an important detail.
Yes.
You remember the factions, don't you? That sprung up during the war?
Yes.
To which one do you give your personal loyalties?
Why do you ask?
Well, we've had a little bit of an issue with Ravengers in New York. The so-called Jersey Devils, as we call them. A little bit offensive, but the point still stands. And I was curious as to which one you would belong to.
No, I do not seek to burn everything. And no, I do not seek to make amendments.
Ah, you are neither Ravenger nor Reconciler. Very well then. Let me see. If I were to ask you what use mankind should be put to, what would be your answer if you answered honestly?
That I probably don't have an answer to give to you.
Do you wish to exploit them or aid them?
If we exploit them, they will be in their own proverbial pit, so no.
I see. A Luciferian by the sounds of it, unless you're a cryptic with an extreme sense of irony.
Could be, but no.
A Luciferian. Interesting.
And you, Mr. Fitzroy?
It's a little odd, really. When I first escaped, if you had asked me then, I'd have classed myself as a Faustian in every sense. But of late, I have been leaning more towards your camp. I won't call myself a Luciferian, but I see some of your morality in my own lately.
Good, good. Artemio will stand up from his chair and go to the window, put his hand over there. You know, they are still children. They are small. They have, of course, become bigger from, well, the last time I have seen them, but they keep falling in love.
The children have grown, Artemio, but they're still children, as you say.
We have been very bad fathers.
Or, in Lily's case, very bad mothers. She's one of our Rabasu in the city.
Oh,
It is
it's been
rather
a long
funny.
time since I saw one of them.
Yes. Do you know that up until quite recently we were more or less led by a Haluku? Yes.
Really?
Josh Rain. Believe it or not, he was the death of rabbits in the old days.
That fucker!
Yes. I thought you might remember. But the point is, the death of rabbits, or Josh, as he simply refers to me now, was more or less leading the court. But I can't deny I've recently begun moves to officially become tyrant.
So
The way I see
Little
it,
Devil wants to become Big Tyrant.
the previous tyrant was a devil, and he seems to have either died or gone back to the pit. And the only other devil here is essentially in my service. I'm perhaps the most powerful demon in the city. I may as well become tyrant and do my best to maintain order. After all, this is what we do.
Yes, this is what you do. That's why you are so starchy.
Yes.
How many of my people, so to speak, is helping you to achieve your goals?
I fear you are the first of your particular family.
And when you actually said that, you can see that something, a shadow of depression maybe goes across his eyes. The first one.
Yes.
So I'm technically alone.
No, you're not alone, Artemio. And you notice that Marcus seems to be actually trying to buoy you up at this point. We're not alone. The old houses, they only apply to a small degree now. We're caught in a world we no longer understand. We have to stand together. Dividing on house lines no longer works. We have our roles befitting our houses, but as far as I'm concerned, we're one family. We fought a war together.
I like that concept, but I need something that I have come to like even more. And he will actually go to the original Dr. Artemio liquor cabinet and extract a half-empty bottle of whiskey.
A Lamassu with a love of drinking.
I have too much love to share.
Indeed. Yes.
Care for a drink?
Of course. One is always available for a good drink.
Actually, he will serve to he won't serve the normal whiskey glass. He will serve the glass in which you would normally serve iced tea, but he will fill them with whiskey.
Marcus will smile a little at the strange glass and take a nice, healthy sized gulp. Very good. Very
Yes,
good.
yes. This has been helping the last 3 or 4 days.
Ah, that's how long you've been free.
Yeah.
I'm curious. I know this will be a touch of a personal question, but it is relevant given recent events. What laws do you remember?
I remember parts of the old doors of my house, and I kind of grasp the concept of one.
I ask because lately we've had issues with the others. Not other demons, but other societies. And I want to try and judge the strengths and weaknesses of our court.
Well, I still remember a little bit of longing.
And
I remember some transfiguration, and I actually don't remember how to cast a storm. And again, the shadow of repression.
I'm sure it will come back to you, as it always does. It's also noteworthy that in New York, at least, we have a relative policy of knowledge sharing. So if we come across some knowledge regarding your laws, it would be happily shared.
Excellent. Now, update me some more. What are these other weird creatures that are fumbling around?
Okay, do you remember Cain's Bastards? The stories during the war of these weird blood-sucking creatures?
Yes, I once met one.
Yes, they were pretty rare during the war, if I remember, but
Yes,
towards the end.
No, they were many.
Many? I don't remember that, but then again, time and memory, they don't well mix.
You know
But
why I remember?
why?
They were extremely, extremely sad beings.
Yes, I suppose. As I say, though, Cain's Bastards rule a significant part of the city and seem to have spread worldwide, which is somewhat unfortunate.
Worldwide?
Yes, across the world. Cain's family seems to measure thousands, if not millions, now. They also have divided into apparent family lines. They call themselves clans, but they're essentially families.
Mhm.
I know of a couple that I can recall off by heart. The Gangrel and the Nosferatu. And I believe there was a group, what were they called now? Damn it. The Venturi, Ventru, that's the one. The Ventru. They have something to do, that's the thing, there's this group they formed, the Camarilla.
The small chamber?
I'm guessing so. They call themselves the Camarilla. They're some sort of sect. They apparently are the vampire government.
Uh-huh.
And they're fighting a war, it seems, against another group who are allegedly called the Sabbat. Though why they hate each other, I don't know. We'll find out in due course, I imagine. As to the werewolves,
Yes.
I don't know where they come from. They're not something I understand. They're not in our purview.
Well, maybe they are.
Go on.
A rabbit's drunk night.
It's possible. Hell, for all we know, I mean, the layers of the universe, for all we know, there's something that spawned in one of the layers and just got free. Who knows? After all, the war does a lot of damage. What
Yeah.
matters, though, is this. They
Yes.
only seem to hold Central Park, but they're extremely territorial.
And he will actually point to the window from which you can actually see Central Park. That park.
Yes, the one you're frighteningly close to.
I might need to move.
I would certainly recommend it. Because if they start sniffing in this direction, they might not like you. They seem to have some sort of prejudice against us.
Why? I'm lovable.
Yes, they claim we're, what was the phrase? Worm tainted, they call us. Whatever the fuck that means, I don't know. I've been trying to find out, but they refuse to share their mythology so far.
Well, maybe we need to sit one of them in one of my chairs and they should have a talk with me.
Possibly. Furthermore, we have the enlightened humans, the ones who call themselves mages. They
Oh,
have pushed their powers to the furthest extent.
what they are capable of.
From what I've seen, fireballs, as you suggested.
I was just joking. You know
Oh, yes.
that.
Yes, but they seem able to do that. And as far as I can tell, in essence, anything we can do, they can do better.
I will not stand for that.
Yes. I mean, I know it was the Morning Star's dream, but still.
Well, yes, a dream is a dream, but I don't think that the Morning Star would. Well, like to see this. We are extremely underpowered.
Oh,
Like last time.
I have not mentioned the changelings. Fairies. From what I understand, their powers are strange, to the point that they can do things we can't.
What?
Yes, the way I've heard it described is they are dreams. They live in a world of dreams. And being dreams, we can't really hurt them.
Then we just need to wake up again?
Except their dreams meant physical, Artemio. How do you escape a waking nightmare?
Okay. Okay, they are weird. I will give you that.
Yep.
Have you seen any of these creatures in action?
I have seen, well, not personally seen much, but I have seen from a distance the werewolves in action. And I know they're to be feared from that and from what I've been told. The vampires I have definitely seen in action, and they are powerful. I also saw what they call an Ananasi, one of the werewolf type creatures, except it seems to turn into a giant spider rather than a wolf.
A giant spider.
Yes, it's a touch fiendish if you ask me, but there you go. What matters is, however, that they're pretty potent,
Mm-hmm.
as I say, are the vampires. The mages, you don't want to go near them. They seem to be more powerful than the enlightened humans were in the old days, and we saw what they could do.
Uh-huh.
Each of them is like a baby wielding the power of a god. You don't want to interfere.
The question is, and you know that this might be extremely horrible from my part, but how do we kill them?
I understand that vampires are vulnerable to sunlight and fire, mythology suggests the werewolves will be vulnerable to silver, though I have to confess I don't believe I haven't actually tested it, though it might be wise. The changelings, I don't know. I've been looking up old stories, and they suggest something called cold iron, but I've had about 200 different descriptions of what the damn stuff is. None of
Well,
them are even slightly consistent.
do you have a... And he's trying to remember the words. He's adjusting his brain to his new body. A maker, an
A, mal-
Anunnaki,
a
a
malefactor.
malefactor.
Yes, we have one. And believe it or not, he has actually agreed to train me in the art of the forge.
How you how did you manage to convince him?
On promise.
Of what?
He trains me in the law of the forge. I train him in one of the laws of my house. That's the
Acceptable.
my policy I've decided is this. If you want an item for which I don't yet possess the laws, you see, I used to know the law of the forge during the war, and I've forgotten it over the eons. But I do remember one thing. With the basic principles, you can achieve great things. So if you're willing to teach me a little bit of your law, I'll give you an item if I don't already have that law. Otherwise, train me the whole thing and I'll train you.
Well,
That's not apply.
let's do it simple. I will teach you the arts of my house, and you will teach me an art of your house.
Or an art of a house I've already traded with. The
Or,
malefactors, for example.
yes,
Yes.
for example. But I think the malefactors wouldn't appreciate that.
They might not, but then again, having 10 people able to make weapons that are of use is better than only having the one.
Agreed.
And we are still essentially at war.
Well, since we are at war, and you can see that his face goes solemn now, I remember my role at the war.
What was it?
Plant the seed of discontent.
Ah.
I think they call it a spy.
I don't remember your name, but I may have heard stories. The Lamassu who spread dissent. The Asharu were the spies who watched. The Lamassu were our double agents.
So, should I pose as good Dr. Allegretto?
Should you what?
Pose as a good psychiatrist to other creatures.
My dear doctor, you're not posing as anyone. Your host is you. You have access to his memories. You are the good doctor. Just as I am Marcus Fitzroy.
The son of the mafia.
Yes. Well, grandson, technically.
How is that underworld of yours going? He seems to know a lot of you. Well, at the least about Marcus Fitzroy.
Yes, I took great advantage of client confidentiality, and the fact that he knows full well he would be killed if he blabbed. For example, and Marcus points over at the desk drawer, I guarantee if you search those drawers you will find a handgun.
Yeah, I already...
You found it.
Yeah.
A gift of mine to Artemio several years ago. Well, a gift of Marcus's, rather. Or his way. I'm actually not used to saying his. I'm used to thinking of Marcus as the same person as me.
Lovely.
You should really get into the habit. It's useful. But yes, continue as the good doctor. The werewolf seemingly will be able to smell it on you, if you're not him. But the others should fall for the ruse. I would also advise going to Fitzroy Manor and possibly attending a court meeting to introduce yourself. Get everyone to know who you are.
When is that court meeting happening?
They don't have regular dates.
Oh, very well. You need to at least send me and he kind of text message.
Yes, I'll send the text to you.
I have a very busy schedule.
Yes, I'll do my best. If I can arrange one in advance, I'll let you know.
Great. It seems that this city has a lot of depressed people, and that means a lot of faith.
Yes. One word of advice. Don't mention to anyone, except Josh Rain and the man you will come to know as Clark Dunson, about my intentions of becoming tyrant. They are the ones who know. Because if you do, I'll have your eyes gouged out. They are the ones who've given me their active support for the moment.
That's a very, very guttural answer. You are filled with anger, Mr. Fitzroy. Why you don't want people knowing that you are trying to become the tyrant of New York?
Because those two I mentioned, they know they've given me their support. The others haven't yet.
And why haven't they yet?
Because they don't know yet.
And why they don't know yet?
I know a few of them would trust me and would go along with it, but one or two would resist. They need time to be shown that I can lead successfully. I need to be given time, Doctor. Well, if you tell them before that time has come, it only makes things difficult, not just for me, but for the entire court.
Well, you see, you will need to earn my trust also.
I know. That, Doctor, is why I'm letting you know. You're new in this city, and if truth be told, a time will soon come when I will need Alamassu aiding me. Your skills are, at least for the moment, unique within this city.
I am my own brand of special, then.
Yes. Having an agent like you is very useful, but having an agent means I have to learn to trust you. And, of course, I can't trust someone who doesn't trust me.
Mm-hmm.
So once I know you trust me, then I can trust you, and then the court can get to work.
Well, we can have, and he will look at the clock, we could meet and have a drink, but I wait for another patient now, Marcus.
Yes, that's understandable. Marcus takes out a business card and slides it across. That is a very particular number. Gets through to my private cell phone. More importantly, it goes straight to the cell phone that I use for matters demonic.
Very well.
If you get a call from that number, yes, if you get a call from that number, be a touch worried. It either means you're about to be called to meet with the other demons, or we're about to declare war. Either way, get ready to run and hide.
Well, I'm good at that.
Yes, aren't we all? And Marcus smiles and pats Artemio on the shoulder as he gets up to leave.
He pats Marcus on the shoulder, also opens the door and closes after Marcus when he has left.
Marcus walks back down to the streets, gets in his car, and drives, or is driven, away.
The doctor will look at his the 2 empty glasses of whiskey. Well, it seems that I'm going to be needing a lot more of whiskey.